Okay, so let's just jump right in. Can you imagine a country having a specific dedicated celebration just for becoming an adult?
Right, not just, turning 18 or 21.
No, not like a sweet 16 or finally getting your driver's license. I mean, a whole day set aside, formalized, with rituals.
It's like taking a philosophical concept and making it totally real.
Yeah.
And that's what really stood out in the materials we looked at. It just shows how differently some cultures mark those huge life shifts.
Instead of just letting it be about a legal age or a family dinner.
Exactly. It's intentional.
Absolutely. So today we are diving into South Korea's Coming of Age Day. And for me, the most fascinating part, the thing we have to unpack, is the gifts.
Hmm.
The specific gifts they give to the youth. At first, they sound almost, well, gentle and strange at the same time.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
That tension is everything. You have these delicate objects on one hand, and on the other, this enormous weight of societal expectation they represent.
So I guess that's our mission for this deep dive, right?
I think so. To get past just the facts of the day and really explore the symbolism, the architecture behind it all. What does it really mean to graduate into the adult world in that culture?
And what's so compelling is that this isn't some old informal tradition. This is an official thing.
Oh, yeah. It's the state, the community, all saying, okay, your status has now changed. You are formally an adult.
Wow.
So let's identify the moment. This is coming of age day. It happens in May. And when a young person hits the age of maturity, the celebration is all built around these specific symbolic items.
Right, and our notes have this great phrase for them, perfume flowers, which sounds so poetic and vague.
It does.
But when you actually look at the ritual, the gifts are incredibly precise. This isn't just a bunch of nice things. It's like a curriculum, a lesson delivered through three core objects.
Exactly. It's a curriculum. The person gets three main gifts, and each one is like a pillar for this new identity they're supposed to build.
Okay, so what are they?
They get a rose, they get perfume, and this is the big one. They get a symbolic cup.
It's a symbolic cup. I love that phrasing. It's not just a cup, it's an object that's explicitly meant to hold meaning.
Mm.
So these three things together, they create this tangible moment. Society's basically saying, congrats. Here are the tools and the expectations of being an adult.
It creates a memory anchor. Think about it. If you just turned 20, the day could just pass.
Yeah.
But if you're given three specific objects, and each one forces you to think about maturity or identity or responsibility, well, that moment sticks with you. It becomes a benchmark.
Okay, so let's get into the why. The why of these three things. This is where the deep dive really starts.
Agreed. Because what's so fascinating is how efficiently each gift communicates this really heavy lesson that the society wants to pass down.
It's teaching about personal growth, public image, and burden bearing all at once.
Exactly.
Let's start with the rose. It's the most, visually straightforward symbol. A rose usually means love or beauty, but here it specifically symbolizes maturity.
Right. And when you actually stop and think about a rose, it's a perfect metaphor for that kind of growth. It's beautiful, sure,
Yeah.
but it doesn't just bloom overnight. It needs care, patience,
Yeah.
and it has thorns.
The thorn.
The thorns aren't an accident, they represent defense, boundaries. The fact that life, even when it's beautiful, can be sharp, that you need to protect yourself.
That deepens it so much. So it's not celebrating that you've arrived at some perfect state of maturity. It's celebrating that you finally understand that maturity is this constant process of growing and protecting yourself and refining who you are.
Precisely. In a culture like Korea's, where there's this huge value placed on self-improvement and respecting the community, the care that a rose needs is like a silent reminder. Adulthood isn't a destination.
It's a commitment.
A perpetual commitment to cultivating your character. It's so much heavier than just a flower.
Okay, so the rose covers the visible journey, the growth.
Yeah.
What about the perfume? That feels like it shifts from the visible to the invisible.
You're right, it does. So if the rose is sight and touch, the perfume is about scent. It's about your internal self, your identity. The perfume represents the start of a new life.
Which makes sense. When you're a kid, your identity is kind of given to you, right? By your parents, your school.
It's inherited.
Yeah, inherited. But as an adult, it's something you have to actively create and project. Perfume captures that perfectly.
It's all about the impression you leave.
Yeah.
As an adult, you are now responsible for the lasting scent, the impression you leave on people.
Your reputation.
Your reputation, your character, your actions.
Yeah.
If the rose is about cultivating yourself internally, the perfume is about presenting that self to the world.
That's a huge shift. It implies you're accountable for your own presence. You're not just in a room anymore. You're actively influencing it.
And that influence has to be intentional. Think about the difference between a really loud, overpowering scent and a subtle one. The gift is kind of a prompt. What kind of impression do you want your life to make? Are you going to be defined by chaos or by consideration? It's a really intimate gift with a very public lesson attached.
Which sets up the perfect transition to the heaviest symbol of all three, the symbolic cup.
Mm-hmm.
If the rose is self-cultivation and perfume is self-definition, the cup has to be about carrying the weight of all of it.
Indeed. The symbolic cup is for celebrating the assumption of responsibility. It's the most direct message of all. A cup is a vessel. It's made to hold things.
It could hold good things, joy, but also obligations, sorrow.
Professional demands, family duties.
Yeah. I wonder, though, isn't a cup also fragile? Is there a message there about how this new adult status can be breakable? The pressure to hold it all together must be huge.
That's a brilliant point. And I think the ritual actually addresses that by focusing on the celebration of being able to bear responsibility.
Ah.
The focus isn't on the fragility of the cup, it's on the capacity of the person. They're celebrating the fact that you've reached a point where society says you are strong enough, you can hold the complexities of adult life.
So it reframes responsibility. It's not a burden, it's an honor.
It's an honor bestowed on someone who is seen as capable.
The community is essentially saying, we trust you to carry this.
Exactly. And in a society like Korea, where group roles and respect for elders are so important, this cup signifies you're entering that structure as a functional part of it. You're not just taking from the community anymore.
You're a dependable contributor.
You can handle your share of the collective load. It signifies full membership.
That gives the cup so much more weight. It's not just about responsibility for yourself. It's about your responsibility within a whole network.
And see how it links back. The maturity you cultivate, the rose, and the character you project. The perfume are what you need before you can carry the responsibility, the cup.
Wow. Yeah. It's a whole system.
The three items create this one cohesive message.
So when you step back and look at the whole curriculum, the rose, the perfume, the cup, what does this tell us about cultural transitions on a bigger scale?
It just shows this huge contrast between an intentional, ritual-based transition and one that's just administrative.
Like just turning a certain age.
Right. The whole point of these rituals is to explicitly teach what it means to enter the world of adults. The expectations aren't vague, they're acted out, they're symbolized.
Which is so different from many Western societies where that transition is. Well, it's messy, it's fluid.
Totally.
You can drive at 16, vote at 18, drink at 21. When are you actually an adult? It's kind of amorphous. You decide for yourself.
Whereas here, the culture says, no, this is a profound internal shift, and it needs community recognition. It needs an anchor point, so they dedicate an entire day to it.
There's no ambiguity. The questions are moral ones. Are you mature? Do you know who you are? Can you handle what life is about to put in your cup?
It feels like an answer to our modern information overload, Instead of a long list of new legal rights, they just boil adulthood down to three essentials: character, reputation, and capacity.
That's it.
The real cross-cultural insight isn't just that they give gifts, it's that they choose symbols that are designed to stick with you, to be felt and remembered. The whole point is that adulthood is about what you take on responsibility, maturity, not just what you gain in freedoms.
And because it's a formal ritual, every generation gets the exact same concise lesson. There's no confusion about what an adult is supposed to be.
Exactly. It's a communal contract, signed with a rose, a bottle of perfume, and an empty cup, just waiting to be filled.
That pretty much brings us to the end of our deep dive. We've seen how South Korea's Coming-of-Age Day takes these huge concepts and distills them into three simple gifts. Maturity, symbolized by the rose and its need for constant care. A new start, a defined identity, which is represented by the perfume.
And the honor of responsibility, celebrated with that symbolic cup. It's a really powerful framework.
Get it?
And it leaves us with something for you, the listener, to think about. Since this celebration uses such tangible symbols, a cup, a rose, perfume, to mark this huge shift, what everyday symbols or actions do we rely on? In our own lives or our own communities?
How do we acknowledge when a person has truly become a functional adult?
Is that transition marked by something deliberate? Or is it just left entirely unsaid?
Something to ponder. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the symbolism of maturity.